Hi and welcome to day 2 of week 9 of training cycle 2 of 2021. Overall, pretty decent day apart from the bench press. I would say the best lift of the day was the squat, simply because I managed to get deep enough for it to properly count, unlike yesterday where it was a very fast and efficient looking rep, but the depth was questionable. Obviously, I have a pretty small channel, so I didn't really have any comments on that, but I picked up on it myself, that my depth wasn't optimal. As you can see here, this was a proper squat. If you pause it at the very bottom, you can see that it is below parallel, and you could go deeper, but I would say this is somewhere close to optimal, somewhere close to where I am going to strive to be. Because there's no point in making it massively more difficult for myself. The weight is already very, very heavy for me, and it's only getting heavier, and it will continue up to 140. So going lower while increasing the weight isn't really realistic without the serious risk of failing reps, and I do not want to fail squat reps without a power rack. Trust me on that. So talking about failing squats, we did a triple as well with 112 and a half. I wish I could do 130 for triples, but nowhere near that at the moment. Goal for this training cycle obviously is to bring this up to 120 for free. That would be phenomenal. Let's watch these reps. Looks kind of, nice and clean. Somehow managing to stay very, very upright lately. You can see that my squat really isn't a good morning pattern at all. My torso is always at not even a 45-degree angle, it's at an even better angle. What can you say, what would that be, you know what, fuck it, I don't know angles. I know a 90-degree angle, obviously what that is, but the question is, do you compare that to the floor? What do you compare it to? Right, anyway, 100 kilo bench press fail, as you can see, 0 problems. Not like my ribs are getting crushed or anything. Yeah, but seriously, as I always say, failing bench presses is safe unless you're very strong or unless you're very stupid. Now, if you're both, it's absolutely very dangerous to fail a bench press. Now, with the kind of technique that I'm using, which is close grip, benching to the lower, well, really the upper abs, the solar plexus areas where I'm benching to, that helps. Benching close grip helps because that puts it in the better position, as well as since the grip is narrow, you probably lift a bit less weight, which is a good thing. For me, I lift more weight like this, but most people don't. Also the arch that I'm doing and the fact that I have my feet under me like this really helps to roll the bar off. It helps me to stay very tight. I'm in a position to where I could easily raise my ass off the bench to get into better mechanical positions to bounce the weights down. And once you got them to belly button level, you just have to roll it down, basically onto the crease of your hip and into the crease of your hip. And it does hurt rolling it because it does touch the side of your hip bone. That does hurt, obviously, but it's not dangerous. No one ever died from, rolling a barbell on their belly. Obviously, someone probably has, but the likelihood is pretty damn low. I'd say it's much more likely if you, for example, were to drop the bar on your face or on your throat, which people have actually done that too. But that's more common if you're using a very wide grip, as well as basically guillotine pressing with a suicide grip, which all of this sounds terrible, but really that's how bodybuilders bench press. A lot of them use the suicide grip, which is instead of having your thumb grabbing around the bar, you have your thumb on the same side of your bar as the rest of your other 4 fingers. Which that may feel comfortable for some, but that causes some problems, including the fact that the bar can slip out of your hands and drop. Now, obviously, if a bar drops, I don't know, half a meter of, say, 100 kilos, you take that times the gravitational constant, not pretending to be Isaac Newton here, but that's a lot of force, that's a lot of damage. And if that hits you in the face, you are fucking done, all right? 100 kilos accelerating towards your face, that will permanently break bones in your face. That will leave you completely, if not dead or crippled, it will absolutely leave you in need of some form of facial operation. Yeah, that's just the way it is. A lot of people die bench pressing every year, just like people die in Smith machines every year. I'd say the worst thing you can do probably is bench press in a Smith machine, especially with a wide grip and benching high up on your chest. Because if you fail, that Smith machine is going to go right down like a guillotine, and it's going to press your neck into the bar, into the bench basically. So what it's going to do is it's going to suffocate the blood flow to your brain if it lands on your neck. After just, a couple short seconds, maybe 2-3 seconds, max 5 seconds, you're already out. And, for every second you lie there, less and less blood flow to the brain. You may get brain bleeds from the high blood pressure. You might get blood clots, which doesn't really happen usually. It can happen with high blood pressure if you have that as a resting high blood pressure kind of thing. But blood clots usually don't really happen out of nowhere just because, you're flexing muscles hard and you get high blood pressure temporarily. Obviously now I'm going a little bit off topic, but it doesn't really matter. My video is like 18 minutes long anyway. Got to talk about something, am I right? I can't even remember what I was talking about. Yeah, it's a bit interesting, my situation right now with the sleep and everything. I'm so tired. Luckily, school is, it's going to be coming to an end in a little bit more than a month. I would say like 5 weeks, maybe, something along those lines. I can say that I finally officially have a summer break. Obviously, I have to do stuff during the summer break too, but it's nowhere near the same kind of daily schedule requirement. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to the summer break. I'm looking forward to sleeping. And actually, I have online classes right now since my school got COVID. Well, that's not really how you would want to put it, but my school has, people in my school have gotten COVID, so the school has closed for the second time. Yeah. Is it the second time though? I don't know if it's the second or the third time. I do know that we've had a lot of online classes, so we're back to online classes now, but anyway, I actually get basically half a week off now because tomorrow on Wednesday, or technically today as I'm recording this, very, very late at night / early morning in Wednesday, but I'm going to post this as Tuesday's workout. But anyway, tomorrow, actually by lunchtime, I finish the online classes. So that will leave me multiple days to sleep and study and train. So that's what I'm looking to do. I'm also going to try to do something fun as well to keep my sanity. Maybe go to town and try skateboarding again, which I suck at skateboarding. If you compare my overall level of athleticism to my proficiency on a skateboard, it's not impressive at all. Obviously, I can, ride a skateboard or however you want to put it, but I can't do tricks and I can't, drop down into these ramp thingies and jump with the board. No way, man. I see young, 13, 14-year-old girls, couple, actually doing better tricks than me, which, by the way, for the record, can't do any tricks on a skateboard yet, but we will get there. Other than that, can't really come up with anything special I can do now during the... Oh, actually, I know one thing. I just... Can I do that? Well, this isn't really a thing. This isn't really something that you can do for multiple hours, but I'm going to keep track of my tadpoles. I actually have tadpoles in the garden, in the pond. I took some tadpoles. Since frogs lay so many eggs, I took some of those eggs and put them in my pond, and it does seem that they are thriving. I have a couple little tadpoles right now, in like their own little their own little pond, like that I dug out by the bank, because I don't want them to get eaten up by fish. So I gave them their own little pond in the pond, if that makes sense. So once they get large enough, I'm going to set them free, or probably I'm not. I'm just going to let them grow into small little frogs so that they can set themselves free by just jumping into the pond. So I've got some plans. What more can I do? This is the thing. When you are in a pandemic and you live on the countryside and, nearest town is pretty far away, and that town is still pretty small, so yeah, you gotta find stuff to do. Yeah, whatever, man. I'll find something. I can play Call of Duty if all else fails. By the way, guys, I play Call of Duty Ghosts on a Xbox 360. That basically means that I am as OG as it gets, except for the fact that I have Minecraft on the Xbox 360, which is even more OG. And I do believe we used to play Super Mario on the Xbox 360, or we did it on a Wii. But that was many years ago, so obviously not happening right now. I don't even know where that Wii is. It's probably in some fucking dump somewhere in China. I don't really know where all this technology goes to when you recycle it. Probably should look it up. Don't know if it goes abroad or if it stays in Sweden, or I have no idea, man. Yeah. I always try to stay away from politics on this channel, and well, not just politics, just stuff outside of training in general, but it's a bit difficult not to drift off topic when you have so many fucking exercises. And my training program, obviously, as you guys have noticed, is absurdly monotonous. It is fucking insane monotonous. The only thing that, makes it interesting is the fact that the weights just keep getting heavier and everything just keeps getting more difficult. But other than that, there's no entertaining part of this program. It's just, grinding and doing a rep and a rep and a rep and another rep, day after day after day. Basically 0 rest days, although I did take a rest day last week. Basically run out of energy, so I had to fall asleep immediately. Slept what was it even? 12 hours? I was going to sleep 13, but I didn't. Yeah. And the funny thing is, after this weight training, you guys don't see it, but I do jump rope as well. So today I jumped rope for 16 minutes and 20 seconds, which is a lifetime personal record. Once again, on the jump rope. By the way, guys, that isn't in a row quite really. Basically, when the rope hits my toes for the first time, I do 1 double jump or double under. And when I fail for the 5th time, I have to do 5 double unders. This way, I can fail, but if I fail, I have to get a small punishment for it. And the punishment gets not exponentially, but linearly more and more difficult with time, with the amount of fails. So the strategy is not to let that rope hit your toes. It's not a very nice feeling when the rope just smacks into your toenail. Yeah, that's not a nice feeling at all. Glute bridges, yeah. Looks stupid. But yeah, better safe than sorry. If there's one thing that's manly, that is hip extension strength. So I'm working on that, not just to be manly, but also to increase my deadlift, which coincidentally actually has a carryover to your manliness. And it also helps, your lower back health, and having strong glutes is just good. It's good for your knees. You want to be strong everywhere, but having a strong posterior chain is fantastic for a lot of the joints in your body. It's very good for your joint health. It's good to have a balanced body, but if you want to have it biased in certain ways, there are certain muscular combinations where it's healthier to have it biased to one way. For example, it's better to be biased towards glutes and hamstrings versus being biased towards quads and hip flexors. It is more healthy to be biased towards upper back than it is, and lats, than it is towards chest. It's more healthy to be biased towards rear delts than front delts. It's more healthy to be biased. Well, actually, probably I ran out of ideas here. Point is, you will have a balanced body, but if you have to choose, the posterior chain is, for the most part, the way to go to stay injury-free. You know, a lot of us train, quads, abs, hip flexors, which really, that's a part of our ab training. We train our chest, we train our, front delts, we train our biceps and triceps. And, what's that going to do to your posture? Not necessarily the biceps and triceps part, but what about the rest of the body? Well, if you have a really strong chest. By the way, guys, I don't have perfect posture. I really don't. My chest is dragging my shoulders forward. But if you have a chest that is way stronger than your back, that chest is going to be tighter than your back. It's going to pull more on the shoulder. Your shoulders are going to protrude forwards. You are going to have kyphotic posture. And over the long run, like in 50 years' time, you probably are going to have neck problems, upper back problems, among other things. We don't want to be that, old person who has a permanently rounded upper back and they can never, ever, ever, without some form of invasive surgery, straighten their back out again. We don't want to be that guy. Yep, we do not want to be that guy. I hope this is the last set, because otherwise I'm basically going to die. I tried to stay tight on these good mornings. It's very, very... No, actually, this isn't the last set. Good mornings are just difficult, man. Having that 55 kilos up on the top of your back, leaning over with it, so it's basically like... It's like picking something up really far in front of you. It's the same kind of leverage disadvantage effect. Now, obviously, I'm shooting my hips backwards to compensate, to create a center of gravity which is behind my toes. But the good morning is always going to hit your hamstrings phenomenally because of that position where you are leaning forwards like that. It stretches your hamstrings, stretches your glutes, and it actually uses your calves to an extent. If you didn't have calves in this movement, you would simply topple forwards. So it's important to have a balanced musculature to work all of these little muscles. Not to say that the glutes and the hamstrings are small. Maybe mine are, but for the most part, these are very major muscles in the body. They are muscles that are very commonly neglected, simply because us dudes, we don't stand flexing our glutes in the mirror. We stand flexing our biceps and our chest and, our shoulders. And, that looks good and whatever, but it does have some implications. When you have strong quads and you have really weak glutes, really weak hamstrings, you are going to get knee problems. You may very well get ankle problems and hip problems and back problems. You don't want these things, obviously, so we need to keep balanced, keep healthy, stay sane. By the way, guys, I just completed another voiceover while almost falling asleep. Congratulations to me. Sorry if you lost any brain cells during this video. Fuck, I have to eat now. I shower and stretch, so yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.